Kerry Rawson had a lot to say during a 2-hour podcast.
In 1974, Dennis Rader terrorized Kansas as the BTK killer.
Possibility of more victims to going to visit her father, Dennis Rader.
Named after his brutal bind, torture, kill method.
Survivor, she had not seen her father since 2005.
For 20 years, he remained a ghost, sending taunting letters to the police and media. His victims were often women, and his first known victims were the Otero family. Despite his horrifying acts, Rader led a normal life. He was a loving father, husband, and even the president of his local church. In 2004, after years of silence, he resumed sending letters. His careless mistake with a floppy disk led to his capture. In 2005, Rader confessed to 10 murders and received 10 consecutive life sentences. His chilling ability to blend into society made him one of the most terrifying killers in history. Butcher Baker. As a teenager, Robert Hansen found an escape in hunting, but his dark desires turned deadly. By the 1970s, he began abducting women, often sex workers, and taking them to the Alaskan wilderness where he hunted them like animals. Known as the Butcher Baker, he admitted to killing at least 17 women. In 1983, one victim, Cindy Paulson, managed to escape and lead authorities to Hansen. His capture in 1984 ended a spree of terror, but his true number of victims may never be known. Hansen was sentenced to 461 years and died in prison in 2014, leaving a terrifying legacy of hunting and murder. Israel Keyes was a chilling killer with no distinct pattern, making him all the more terrifying. He traveled across the U.S., preparing kill kits hidden in remote locations, allowing him to strike anywhere. In 2012, after 18-year-old Samantha Connick was abducted, authorities tracked Keyes through his bank transactions, leading to his arrest in Texas. He confessed to multiple murders, though the true number remains unknown. Keyes' meticulous planning and ability to kill without leaving traces made him one of the most unsettling killers in history. In 2012, before his trial, Keyes took his own life, leaving behind a trail of unsolved crimes. Dr. Death. During World War II, Marcel Petiot preyed on those fleeing persecution, pretending to help them escape Nazi-occupied France. Operating under the alias Dr. Eugène, he offered a fake escape route, claiming to help Jewish people leave Paris. Instead, he poisoned them with cyanide, stealing their valuables and disposing of their bodies. Petiot is suspected of killing as many as 60 victims, though only 23 were found. In 1946, he was executed by guillotine, but his true number of victims remains a mystery. His betrayal of trust during such a perilous time left behind a legacy of horror. Papa's Secret. Karl Denk, a respected member of his community in Poland, was known for helping homeless people and volunteering at his local church. But beneath his kind exterior, he harbored a horrifying secret. In 1924, a man named Vincent Olivier managed to escape from Denk's grasp, leading to his arrest. Authorities discovered human remains of at least 30 victims in Denk's house, some of which were made into items. It's believed Denk even sold body parts to unsuspecting locals. After his arrest, Denk took his own life, leaving a terrifying legacy of murder and deception. Golden State Killer. For over a decade, Joseph James D'Angelo terrorized California as the Golden State Killer. His spree began in 1976, starting with burglaries and assaults before escalating to 13 murders by 1986. He evaded capture for years, but in 2018, genetic genealogy linked him to the crimes. Using DNA evidence, authorities traced him back to his family. In 2020, D'Angelo pled guilty to his crimes and was sentenced to life in prison. The chilling nature of his crimes and the fact he was a former police officer made him one of the most haunting killers in U.S. history. Candyman Killer. Dean Corll, known as the Candyman, lured young boys into his deadly traps with promises of candy and treats, Operating in Houston, Texas, he began his killing spree in 1970, with help from his teenage accomplices, David Owen Brooks and Elmer Wayne Henley. Together, they murdered 28 victims. In 1973, Henley managed to turn on Coral, fatally shooting him. After Coral's death, Brooks and Henley were arrested. The gruesome discoveries of bodies buried in Coral's home shocked the community. Dean Coral's reign of terror left a lasting mark on the history of serial killers. Toy Box Killer. David Parker Ray, also known as the Toy Box Killer, created a nightmare inside a soundproof trailer he called his Toy Box. The trailer was equipped with tools and devices designed for torture. Between 1996 and 1999, he abducted and tortured women for months, often with the help of his accomplices, including his girlfriend Cynthia Hendy. One victim managed to escape and alerted authorities, leading to his arrest. Ray was sentenced to 224 years in prison, though he claimed to have abducted and killed 40 women. Ray died in 2002 while still in prison, but his horrific acts continued to haunt those who survived his brutal torment. Co-ed killer. Edmund Kemper, towering at 6'9", seemed harmless with his gentle demeanor, but his dark fantasies began early. In 1964, he murdered his grandparents before being sent to a psychiatric hospital. After his release, he moved in with his abusive mother, Clarinell Strandberg, and by 1972, he started killing young women in Santa Cruz, California. Kemper lured hitchhikers into his car, where he would murder them. Known as the co-ed killer, he confessed to killing 10 victims, including his mother. In 1973, he turned himself in, and in 1974, he was sentenced to life in prison, where he remains today. His chilling confessions and calm demeanor made him one of the most disturbing serial killers in U.S. history. Butcher of Rostov. Andrei Chikatilo, known as the Butcher of Rostov, began his killing spree in 1978. Growing up in a harsh environment in rural Ukraine, he became a schoolteacher, but beneath the surface, he harbored violent urges. By 1990, he had confessed to killing 56 people, mostly children and young women, in the Rostov Oblast. His method was brutal, often assaulting and murdering his victims before disposing of their bodies. After his arrest in 1990, Chikatilo was sentenced to death and executed in 1994. His horrific acts, which terrorized an entire region, earned him the nickname the Butcher of Rostov. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was the epitome of charm and deception. In the 1970s, his good looks and charisma allowed him to lure women to their deaths. Pretending to be injured or in distress, Bundy would abduct his victims, only to later brutally murder them. His killing spree spanned multiple states, with 30 confirmed murders, though the true number is believed to be higher. After being arrested and escaping twice, he was eventually captured in 1978. In 1989, Bundy was executed in Florida, but his chilling ability to manipulate and evade capture left a lasting impact on the nation. Silent Butcher. Ed Gein, known as the Silent Butcher, was a quiet, reclusive figure in Wisconsin. In 1957, after the disappearance of Bernice Worden, police discovered a horrifying scene at Gein's farmhouse. He had grave robbing tendencies, and inside his home were items made from human remains, including masks and furniture. Gein claimed to have dug up bodies from local cemeteries, and the remains of around 40 victims were found in his home. His gruesome acts inspired infamous horror movie villains like Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs. In 1968, Gein was found guilty of one murder and was sent to a psychiatric facility where he died in 1984. Killer Clown. John Wayne Gacy, known as the Killer Clown, hid his horrifying crimes behind the persona of a friendly party entertainer. In 1978, Gacy's true nature was revealed when he was arrested for the murders of 33 young men. While performing as Pogo the Clown, He lured his victims to his home, where he tortured and killed them, burying many of them in his house's crawl space. Gacy's charm and ability to deceive others made his crimes all the more terrifying. After his conviction in 1980, Gacy spent 14 years on death row before being executed by lethal injection in 1994, leaving a dark legacy that haunted the community for years. Killing couple. Fred and Rosemary West were a twisted couple who committed a series of heinous murders in England. Fred had a history of violent crime, but it was when he met Rosemary that their spree truly began. Together, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered at least 12 victims, including their own daughter. The bodies were buried in their backyard, with many others hidden in their home. In 1995, after Fred was arrested for the murder of his stepdaughter, he took his own life. Rosemary was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. The chilling partnership of these two killers left a legacy of terror that still haunts England. The nightmare doesn't end here. Our next video uncovers the shocking truth behind a celebrity's mysterious death. You don't want to miss it. Hit subscribe now to join the dark side and stay updated with more jaw-dropping stories. Trust us, you'll regret not watching.